I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's agenda meeting. This afternoon we'll review the action items that will be formally addressed next Tuesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. right here at City Hall. And we'll begin with review of our financial statements. Karen?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. The monthly financial statements are issued to keep city management and constituents apprised of the financial condition of the city of Hot Springs. The April 2025 financial statements will be provided as an attachment to your board action request, and staff recommends acknowledging receipt of the April 2025 financial statements.
There's got to be 20 questions on that. No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move forward with the next item, Resolution R-25-114, regarding the purchase of a day cab tractor from Tri-State Truck Center. Bill, who are we calling on for this item?
It's going to be
Oh,
Lance
Lance.
Spicer.
Lance
Samantha, I think,
jumped
will
up
be here
there.
for the meeting itself, but Lance is going to cover it at the agenda.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you. This item is requesting purchase approval for a day cab tractor from Tri-State Truck Centers. They're based out of North Little Rock. This is a cooperative purchasing purchase by way of Sourcewell. This truck is a Mack truck, and it is a day cab truck, so it is used to transport garbage from a transfer station to the landfill. The pricing on this particular unit came in at $156,962.11, and this will replace a 2017 Freightliner model that has just under 10,000 hours, so quite a bit of time on it. And that particular Freightliner will be PTR'd. Of note, though, this is $36,000 less than what we budgeted this year, so that's a good thing.
Very good. Any questions for Lance? Director Garcia?
Is this replacing a,
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't,
Yeah. This is a Mack truck purchased from Tri-State Truck Centers, but it'll be replacing a 2017 Freightliner.
2017?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next item is Resolution R-25-115, a resolution awarding a bid to Spectre Manufacturing, Inc. for the purchase of 3 transfer trailers for the Solid Waste Department in the amount of $383,721. And again, Mr. Spicer.
Yes, the invitation to bid for the procurement of the 3 transfer trailers was duly advertised and issued by the City of Hot Springs Purchasing Department. We only received 1 bid, and this was from Spectre Manufacturing Incorporated. They are out of St. Clair, Pennsylvania. We purchased a lot of transfer trailers from this company. Essentially all the transfer trailers that we do have that haul garbage from the transfer station to the landfill are Spectre Manufacturing trailers. These are aluminum trailers that you see on the interstate and highways. The purchase price is $127,907 per unit. So the grand total for the 3 trailers is $383,721. I do want to note that last time we purchased these from Spectre in 2023, this purchase price is about $7,300 less than then. So, and this was also budgeted in the solid waste 2025 budget.
Any questions of Lance? Director Garcia?
And in the budget, how much was budgeted?
The budget price was right at $500,000.
For 3.
Yes.
So we're coming in under budget on this item as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And these will replace older units. They're approximately 10 years old. The unit and asset numbers will be in your packet as well.
You know, Lance, one of the, did you have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Lance, on these type of trucks for the solid waste department, are there any other equipment pieces that need to be purchased for the trailer or just the trailer itself? Is it
Trailers.
all on it, ready to
Yeah,
go?
it's ready to go.
Okay.
It is. And it has to fit into the transfer station compactors. As you back into them, it's a specific dimensions, which is part of the bid packet.
So that may answer the question I'm going to pose is, we get so few, responses. And is it because the specifications are so tight that no one else qualifies? Or is there something unique about the way we do it? Or is it just, people have enough business and they don't want to worry about, buying or selling 3 to Hot Springs?
Probably a little of all the above, but for the most part, the specifications for the trailers have been the same since the transfer station has been commissioned. But from a purchasing standpoint, you do from time to time get new bidders, but oftentimes they are a good bit higher. And Spectre Manufacturing has been in the industry for a long, long time. I think there's actually an offshoot, and Bill probably knows more about it than myself.
There's about 3 vendors that make these type trailers. They're aluminum, and they're very difficult to build. East Manufacturing discontinued using push blades and started using walking floors, which in the wintertime, those will have a tendency to freeze up, and you can't get the trash out once you get to the landfill. So there are a couple that make these. Typically, if those two are going up against each other and they've had previous bids, Spectre is one that's usually pretty competitive. So that could be something to do with it. But there's not many that make them.
Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Lance, you said this was going to replace some. Did you say how long they last? A 10-year lifespan?
10 years is a long time for a transfer trailer, but that's
Okay.
generally when we start looking at the replacement cost. If we're having issues with it, they do get damaged from time to time, but generally 8 to 10 years is kind of your life cycle for them.
Okay, so you said we bought some last year, or in 23, two
Yeah.
years ago. How many do we have
All told,
of
I think
these
we-
kind of trailers?
these trailers, we probably got close to probably 8 to 10 of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
So each one, each truck and each trailer is either they're hooked up to the transfer station or they're hooked up to a truck transporting the waste to
Okay.
to the landfill.
all right.
All of these are at least 10 years older or older.
Okay, the ones we're replacing.
Mhm.
Right. Thank you.
How many trailer loads do we take to the landfill per day?
About 8
Yeah.
8?
Per day.
per day.
To bauxite. So that's where the
Yeah.
disposal site is.
Each one are right around 80,000 pounds.
Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-116. Consider resolution authorizing the filing and acceptance of the 2025 Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act Implementation Projects Grant administered by the Department of Justice, Office of Community Oriented Policing Services. And our grant writer, Sarah DeLozier, will present, and Billy's here, Chief Arviton's here, if you have any other questions.
Thank you. Good afternoon, directors. The Hot Springs Police Department is intending to apply for funding through the 2025 Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act program administered by the U.S. Department of Justice. This federal program supports law enforcement agencies in improving access to mental health and wellness services for officers and their families. Eligible projects include implementation of peer support models, mental health check-ins, suicide prevention initiatives, family support resources, and training of staff in wellness. While the Hot Springs Police Department submitted an application in 2024, it was not awarded. This 2025 application reflects continued commitment to our officer wellness program and incorporates insights from last year's proposal to strengthen our submission for this year. The physical, emotional, and physiological demands of law enforcement work have increasingly been linked to negative personal and professional outcomes nationwide, including higher rates of suicide, divorce, substance abuse, and burnout. Recognizing these challenges, the police department proactively launched a wellness unit in 2022, comprised of trained staff members who provide peer support, facilitate counseling referrals, lead critical incident debriefs, and assist with job-related stress and mental health needs. If approved by the board and we submit this grant and are awarded, the grant is going to be focusing on providing annual mental health check-ins with licensed professionals, expanding support services for officers and their families, offering suicide prevention and wellness training for supervisors, and enhancing the wellness unit training and capacity for our department. And I'm open to questions if you have any.
Any questions? Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. What's the amount that we're applying for? Is there a specific amount, or we just apply?
Yes, sir. We're applying for the max threshold of $200,000, and it
200?
is a zero match grant request.
If you said that, I missed it. I'm sorry.
Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So $200,000, is that good for 1 year or for however long it lasts? And what does it provide coverage for? Would it be the salary of additional personnel for the police department?
Yeah, great questions. It's a 24-month program. If awarded, it would start October 1 of 2026, so it would expire in it would start in October of 2025 and expire in October of 2027. Specifically, it would be to fund officers currently on our staff to go to some specific trainings. It would also allow us to purchase some of the modules that we've been looking at to offer services and pay for the counseling services. So it wouldn't be additional officers to the team. It would just be providing actual training, going to certain conferences, and then tapping into the resources to give those checkups and therapy sessions.
In the 2024 application, you said, we were not successful. Did they provide you feedback as to what might have been lacking that you could then improve upon?
Yes, in this particular instance, there was some feedback that we were able to glean from, so we have structured the grant narrative to dive into those areas that they felt were a little weak. It was specifically into our budget and our timing of when the training would happen, so we've taken that feedback and we're incorporating it into this year's submission.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-117, a resolution authorizing the filing and acceptance of grant funding for the fiscal year 2026 Project Safe Neighborhoods Program, funded by the United States Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance and administered through the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration. And Chief Harvington will discuss the item. Chief.
Thank you, sir. Project Safe Neighborhood is designed to create and foster safe neighborhoods through a sustained reduction in violent crime. The program's effectiveness depends upon the ongoing coordination, cooperation, and partnerships of local, state, tribal, and federal law enforcement agencies working together with the communities they serve, engaged in a unified approach led by the United States Attorney's Office. The grant funds are provided by the Department of Justice's Bureau of Justice Assistance, but administered by an appointed fiscal agent, which in this case is the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration. The Hot Springs Police Department has applied for and been awarded this grant for several years now. The grant provides for overtime, equipment, travel, and training with a focus on the pursuit and apprehension of those perpetrating violent crime, drug trafficking, and weapons-related offenses. HSPD has been a vital partner in the PSN program with the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Western District of Arkansas for multiple years. If approved by the board, HSPD intends to request funding for overtime expenditures for special operations related to drug trafficking, violent and weapon-related crime, training, and potentially equipment. There is no match requirement, so there is no fiscal impact for this grant. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions of our chief? Director Garcia.
I'm sorry, what was the amount requesting?
We don't have the exact amount, but it'll be a window of around between $20,000 and $30,000.
Okay, thank you.
I'm working on those numbers currently.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-118, a resolution approving work order number 25-02 to the At-Risk Construction Management and General Contract Services Agreement with Hill & Cox Corporation for the first phase of the remodel to include the kitchen and pantry area for the Community Resource Center. Our Public Works Director, Ron Seabright's been working on this, and we'll discuss the item.
Good afternoon. So this work order is to mainly modify the kitchen and expand it to accept the new appliances that we bought last fiscal year, bring it up to code. They're going to expand a pantry area, add electrical, plumbing to that, and they've been working really close with the architect, and it's they've really gave us some great ideas to cut costs and you know, get it built efficiently. So we did build in a $15,000 contingency just in case of known unknowns, because that building was built in 1960, so you never know what you're going to run into. So and all this has been budgeted in our 2025 budget. And just to add a little note, all the design work was done at no charge. They donated their time.
Any questions of Ron? Timetable for completion?
They said they can do it in 6 to 8 weeks.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
One question. Did you mention
ma'am.
the amount? I didn't hear you say the amount.
$118,700.
Thank you.
15 of that's contingency.
Yeah, 15 is contingent.
I heard the contingency, I just didn't hear the other.
I might not have said it though. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-119, a resolution authorizing the filing and acceptance of a grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency's 2025 SAFER, which is Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Grant Program. And Chief Davis and Sarah are here to discuss.
Good afternoon, Directors. Hot Springs Fire Department requests permission to apply for a federal grant to fund additional firefighter positions. The proposed grant, if accepted, would provide the City of Hot Springs with the necessary funding to hire 9 firefighters to staff the new fire station. This grant would pay 75% of the cost of the firefighter's salary and benefits for a 2-year period and 35% of the personnel costs in year 3. The city must agree to retain the firefighters after the grant funding is completed. Hiring these firefighters would allow the fire department to have fully trained crews ready to staff the First Security Way fire station. The estimated federal funds we would receive over the 3-year period would be approximately $1,401,642. During the first and second years of the 3-year grant cycle, the City of Hot Springs were required to assume 25% of the salary costs for the 9 positions, $185,081 in year 1, $191,161 in year 2, or $376,242 for both years. After 2 years of the grant cycle, we would be required to assume 65% of the personnel costs. The 3rd year estimated cost would be approximately $506,845 for the 9 positions. Using current salary numbers, 9 firefighter positions, 3 lieutenants, 3 drivers, and 3 firefighters will cost the city approximately $740,342 in year 1 without the SAFER grant funding. A COA is not required for this grant application because the 2026 budget has yet to be approved by the Board of Directors.
Any questions of the Chief or Sarah? Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-120, a resolution awarding a bid. Lance, this one we're going to have removed, is that correct? Mayor, this is one of the items, item 8, that we'd like to have removed from your agenda.
Okay. So we're removing Resolution R-25-120.
Moving into your new business, your first item on new business is consider Resolution R-25-121, a resolution awarding a bid to Shields and Associates for the terminal building and air traffic control tower improvements at the Hot Springs Memorial Field Airport, approving a budget adjustment and for other purposes. This is in the amount of $1,184,673, and our Airport Director, Don Rollett, is here to discuss. Don?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This resolution is a bid to approve the terminal improvement bid for Shields and Associates. There were 2 bidders on the project. Shields and Associates was the lowest bid at $822,173. The bid did come across over the engineer's opinion of $535,256. The other bidder was a bid of $890,730. Staff recommends that the terminal improvement project be awarded to Shields and Associates for the bid of $822,173. There are some changes that's going to be coming out with the project. We had some metal screening that was going to be on the side of the terminal, and due to the price of those, we're going to look at moving those off of the bid, and then your packets will be updated with the final numbers.
Any questions of Ron? Director Holliday?
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
As I'm writing this down, you said their bid was a little over 800,000, but we're approving almost 1.2 million. So what is, did I miss something?
The bid was $822,173, and then Garver work orders that have been processed earlier is $263,000 that's involved with it. So that brings the total to $1,085,173 with the screen adjustments that we're talking about taking off.
Okay, so the number we have in our agenda is not a number to worry about at the moment.
Correct.
Okay.
That will be adjusted and it'll be in your packet. We're working through that today.
One of the things that we're hoping is that we can retain that larger number, because it's a 95% FAA and a 5% state, is to see if we can capture enough money left in the budget to be able to paint the facility versus the metal screening. So those are some things that came out today that we need to follow up on. We just don't have that answer yet.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Director Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. The 263,000 work orders from Garver, was it, that all of that is to Shield and Associates?
That's for Garver's administrative
Their
and,
oversight in
right.
engineering.
yes.
And were they the ones that provided the estimate of this work for $535,236?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they provided any information of what's changed?
Other than the screens, I do have Jordan here from Garver, might be able to answer that question more thoroughly.
Yeah, I was just curious, as that's a pretty big difference.
So our estimate for the whole project with the screens was about $1.3 million versus the low bidder, when you include the screens, was about 1.2 million. So we were between, for the total project, we were between the low bidder and the high bidder. It's just when we took the screens out, there was a huge discrepancy between our price, the low bidder's price, and the high bidder's price.
So it's a difference between the different components of the overall project, and even though this piece, the actual is greater than the estimate, other components, when you add them all together, you're between 1.2 to 1.3 million difference.
One of the reasons, Director Garcia, is the higher bid had 4x6 panels, metal panels for the building. That's what we had in our specifications. As we went through the lower bid, they had these 1-foot panels that would show a lot more seams. And that's one of the reasons you see that kind of spread in the two bids, and that's how they fell in between the other two. We didn't feel like that was a good fit on those 1-foot panels, and the larger ones was more than what the bid, more than what we could get.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R-25-122, a resolution authorizing out-of-state travel to Washington, D.C. for two of the directors as required by Hot Springs Code 2-1-5 and for participation in the Chamber of Commerce fly-in to D.C. We've got 3 board members that have expressed interest: Director Beard, Director Dobb Smith, and Director Trusty. That'll be on your agenda that night. We don't have the pre-travel forms in there because this one's a little bit different going through the chamber. It's $1,200, but you do have to have flights, and we'll handle those. we need to know which names are going to be listed in there at the meeting Tuesday night.
And
So there'll be a motion at the meeting time to put names in?
I would assume so, unless.
Okay. Director Garcia, did you have a comment?
And there are spots available for our 2 people,
Correct.
because I know it was filling up pretty fast, but we've got at least the 2. Okay. Thank
Very
you.
good.
I'd like to rescind my request to go, so that you don't have to worry about that.
So we'll have 2 names, 2 spots, 2 names.
Ready? Next item is consider resolution R-25-123, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 108 Best Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. Mike Scott, our chief building official, is here to present the item. Mike?
Thank you. 108 Best Street. The City of Hot Springs proposes condemnation for the purpose of repairing a vacant single structure, residence structure at 108 Best Street, Hot Springs, Garland County. The owner of record is Bernadine Hardin of Rogers, Arkansas, which was confirmed by a limited title search conducted by the Hot Springs Title Company. Chapter 1 of the Hot Springs Property Maintenance Code, Section 1718, abatement by the city. If the owner of the house, building, or structure constitutes a nuisance, have not obtained the required permits and commenced work or repair, rehabilitation, secured, raised, or removed, or otherwise abate said nuisance within 30 days after the posting of the true copy of the resolution of conspicuous place on said house, building and/or structure, said building and/or structure constitutes the nuisance, will be repaired, boarded, and secured, or raised and removed. Reason I read that is because we are wanting to repair this structure. In this case, the structure, should the board decide to proceed with this condemnation, the city would request bids from contractors to remove the damaged, collapsed carport roof, including any damaged rafters, replace the decking and the roofing and all the soffit and fascia on the garage, on the carport. The work would also include replacing all other roof components such as flashing and other trim. All repair costs and administrative fees would then result in a lien being placed on the property with the Garland County Circuit Clerk's Office. It is the intention of the Planning Department to bring this property before the board on the 18th of March. However, when we were unable to perfect notification, we sent a copy of the file to the attorney ad litem on April 13th. Notification of the proceedings were handled by Office of Snipper, Britton, and Stovall. In addition, responses to the city's Facebook posting requested information from Mrs. Hardin and her family, resulting in a conversation between Neighborhood Services Manager James Hardage and the grandson of Miss Hardin. Mr. Hardin explained that Miss Hardin had passed away and the family was unable to change the property into anyone else's name. Mr. Hardage explained the intention of this condemnation is to not raise and remove the structure, but to remove the dilapidated carport and make any and all repairs to the roof resulting in the structure. Mr. Hardin explained, he also explained to Mr. Hardin that the repairs would result in a lien that could be paid in full any time following the filing in the courthouse. Due to the extent of the deterioration, inability, or unwillingness of the property owner to make the necessary repairs or stabilize, staff is requesting that the structure be condemned for the purpose of making the necessary repairs.
Any questions of Mike? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. You mentioned, repairs, and then any costs that go towards these repairs will result in a lien against the property owner. Any idea on what these costs might total up to?
I do not. We'll have to get 3 bids on it, and then we'll take the lower bid, qualifying bidder.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Any additional questions? Director Garcia?
In our packet, will you include the property tax status, if they're current, or how far in arrears they may be?
Property taxes are $355 are due at this time. It's not been turned over to the state. And this
Thank you.
is in District 3.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Next is consider Resolution R-25-124, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 122 Gardner Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. And give Mr. Scott.
Thank you. City of Hot Springs proposes condemnation for the purpose of demolishing and clearing a vacant single-family residence structure at 122 Gardner. The property is located in District 3 and is owned by Danny Roy McDonald, whose last known address was Quapaw Care and Rehab location on Brighton Terrace here in Hot Springs. The taxes are delinquent in the amount of $1,387.97, with the property certified to the state in 21 and is scheduled to be auctioned in 2026. Responses to the city's posting requesting information regarding Mr. McDonald or his family confirmed that Mr. McDonald is deceased and he left no known heirs. In February of 24, following complaints about the condition of the house, property neighborhood services issued notices to Mr. McDonald. And a follow-up notice was sent on January 17th of 2025. Also at that time, a limited title search was requested to determine if any additional owners were present. When it was determined that Mr. McDonald was the only legal owner of the property, a copy was filed and given to the attorney ad litem on April 3rd. The structure poses no public health and safety risk. The structure poses public health and safety risk. The structure has been inspected and deemed unsafe for habitation because of extensive structural damage and foundation damage due to the extent of the deterioration and the death of the property owner and lack of known heirs. Having no reasonable alternative, the structure should be raised and removed.
Any questions on this item? Director Holliday?
Thank you. With this already being conveyed to the state, there isn't a problem with removing the actual structure?
No, we've done it in the past.
Okay.
Since it's not going to happen until 2026, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have consider Resolution R-25-125, a resolution declaring a certain structure located at 302 Lincoln Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. Mr. Scott.
Thank you. 302 Lincoln, City of Hot Springs proposes condemnation for the purpose of demolishing and clearing a vacant single structure at 302 Lincoln. This is a single structure which is located in District 2, was damaged by a fire in September of 24, and county records show that the property is owned by the late Mr. Denver Woodfork and Tommy Woodfork. And Tommy's not deceased, by the way. The taxes on this property are delinquent in the amount of $1,284.87 and has been certified to the state in 21 and scheduled for auction in 2026. It was our intention to bring this property before the board on May 6th. However, when we were unable to perfect notification to the owner, we sent a copy of the file to the attorney ad litem. In addition, the responses to the city's Facebook posting request information confirmed that Mr. Denver Woodfork is deceased and that Mr. Tommy Woodfork is the owner of the property. The structure was inspected and deemed unsafe for habitation because of the extensive structural and foundation damage caused by the fire. Due to the extent of the deterioration, the inability or unwillingness of the property owner to make repairs to stabilize, and having no reasonable alternative, the structure should be raised and removed. Side note, Mr. Woodfork owes the city $3,487.49. So,
Those funds owed are due to what?
due to address at East Grand, looks like we mowed it a few times, and then a tear down on Perry Street, 102 Perry Street. We tore down a house there, and also weed lot 2 or 3 times there. So.
Okay. Any questions of the board? Director Beard?
Thank you, Mayor. Just for my information, how much does it cost to mow a lawn that size?
For example, the one on Perry Street, first time we did it, it was $116.98. Second time we did it was $96. And due to the difference is probably the first time we did it, we had to remove a lot of trash, additional trash. Second time, all we had to do is just mow it. And then the same thing on the third time, it was $74.49.
Wow. Can you give me the address again on Perry Street?
102 Perry Street.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-126, a resolution awarding a bid to Boyles Construction, Inc. for the construction of Schedule 1 of the Spring Street Gravity Sewer Improvement Project. This is in the amount of $3,155,462. Joey Stadler, our Engineering Assistant Utilities Project Manager, is here to discuss the item. Joey?
Yep, good afternoon, thank you. Staff recommends awarding the bid received on May 12, 2025 to Boyles Construction out of Perrin, Arkansas for Schedule 1 of the Spring Street Gravity Sewer Project as designed by Hawkins Weir, Inc. in the amount of $3,155,460.70. This project is part of ADEQ's CAO LIS 22-077. It begins at Burnell Street and continues north to Highway 70 near the Coleman Rock Shop. This project consists of approximately 1,400 feet of 15-inch pipe, 1,100 feet of 16-inch pipe, 2,600 feet of 18-inch pipe, and corresponding manholes. The bid form consisted of 3 alternates, 1, 2, and 3. 2 bids for Schedule 1 were received, reviewed, and evaluated. The responses was from Diamond Construction and Boyles Construction, Inc. Boyles was the lowest responsive bidder and was $743,652.30 lower than Diamond. There is a certified bid tab and letter of recommendation in your board packet. This project will be funded by the board-approved 2025 wastewater bond, and it is worth noting we have worked for Boyles in the past, with Boyles.
Now, this is what begins and ends where?
Burnell Street, which is off Spring Street, and continues north all the way to Ron Coleman's Rock Shop.
Up by Jessieville? Or where?
No, just south of the
on
Highway
Grand
70.
Street.
Yep.
Grand. Okay. Any additional questions? Director Garcia?
The Spring Street Gravity Sewer Improvement Project, is that, I'm not familiar with that project. Is that a new name, or I'm just behind?
It's not. We started the design in 2021 with this project, and it's part of the CAO, like I mentioned. And starting south, we've got Gulfa, 4 schedules, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Then Gulfa stops at Burnell, and Spring Street takes off north from there.
So this is all a part of our project for the consent?
You may have heard us refer to this as the upper interceptor.
Yes.
And Gulfa being the lower interceptor. So
Okay.
we've used
Okay.
those terms as well for this project.
Okay. That makes more sense to me now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next item is consider Resolution R-25-127, a resolution awarding a bid to Diamond Construction, Inc. for the construction of Schedules 2 and 3 of the Spring Street Gravity Sewer Improvement Project in the amount of $3.7 million. And again, Joey.
Thank you again. Staff recommends the award the bid received on May 12th to Diamond Construction of North Little Rock of Schedules 2 and 3 of the Spring Street Gravity Sewer Project as designed by Hawkins Weir. The award shall be total of Schedule 2 and 3 in the amount of $890,725 and $2,817,960 respectively. This again is part of Administrative Order CAO LIS 22-077. It begins on the south side of Highway 70 near Grand Avenue and continues north to the north side of Gulfa Campground. This project consists of approximately 2,000 feet of open-cut 15-inch pipe, 290 feet of 24-inch steel-encased jack and bore, going underneath the highway, about 1,000 feet of 16-inch pipe bursting with HDPE, and about 70 feet of 20-inch aerial crossing. 3 bid forms consisted of 3 alternates, 1, 2, and 3. These are Schedules 2 and 3. Diamond Construction was the only responsive bidder for Schedules 2 and 3, with a grand total of $3,708,685. Diamond was selected based upon certified bid tab and a letter of recommendation. A copy of these are in your packets, and again, this is funded by the 2025 wastewater bond.
Any questions on this item? Regarding this item and the one previous, were they within what your anticipated budget was, or we have any
Sure, actually,
savings?
it's substantially less. So the engineer's opinion of construction cost was $8,762,000. The total for this right here came in, we are $1,897,000, $852.30 less. So almost 1.9 million less.
Yeah. Thank you. Any additional questions? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. How many total phases did we say that were for this portion of the
This
project?
portion awarded to Diamond is 2 schedules, Schedule 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've got Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. Do we have any Schedule 4?
Nope.
This is all 1,
That's
2,
all-
and 3?
That's all
Okay.
of it, yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, consider Resolution R25-128, a resolution awarding a bid to K-Jax Contractors, Inc. for the construction of the Davidson Drive wastewater treatment plant 54-inch outfall and Lake Catherine diffuser. This is a large one in the amount of $5.775 million. Our project manager, Todd Pillar, will present the item. Todd?
Thank you, and good afternoon. This is our 54-inch outfall from the Davidson Drive UV structure down to Lake Catherine, which is a 54-inch fiberglass pipe, and also a 54-inch ductile iron diffuser in Lake Catherine. And we need to get this under contract so we can order materials to coordinate with Energy's drawdown starting November 1st. And we received 2 bids, and K-Jax was the low responsive bidder at $5,775,000. And our 2025 wastewater bond fund will fund the project.
And we have done multiple projects with K-Jax in the past.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Any questions of Todd? Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Todd, was this under budget too, or was it at budget? What had we anticipated?
It's actually a little over the $5,775,000. What we have in our wastewater bond was $5,650,000. So we're about $100,000 over.
But pretty close.
Yes, sir. Real good.
Very good. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next, consider Resolution R25-129, a resolution awarding a contract to RJN Group, Inc. for the Sanitary Sewer Evaluation Survey, also known as our SSES program for the gravity sewer collection system, in the amount of just a little over $1.5 million. And again, Mr. Pillar.
Yeah, thank you. This is part of our CAO with the Gulf of Basin. And we got our Phase 1. Joey just talked about Phase 2, 3, 4, all our interceptor stuff. This is a survey of about 8 basins that contribute to the Gulf Interceptor and the Sundance neighborhood as well. And RJN is really good at doing this, and they will do manhole inspections, they'll do smoke testing, they'll do dye water flooding, they'll clean CCTV, flow monitor, rain gauge and everything. They'll provide project administration, data management, analysis, and reports. And this is in the form of a not-to-exceed amount of $1,554,900. And in our budget, we had in our bond money, we had $1,565,000. So we're a little under budget.
Director Webb?
And of course, this will come out of the 2025 wastewater bond fund.
Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So Todd, to clarify for everybody, including myself, and you did give a good job kind of describing some details for the survey, but this isn't a survey perhaps that is where we send things out for consumers to reply back to. This is where we have a crew that goes out to do topographical or geographical type
This is all under,
measurements and underground and?
all underground stuff.
Is this a need for this project? Do we have to have this survey?
Yes.
Yes, because we have money in our 2025 wastewater bond fund, and we need to know where to spend that money.
Director Webb, part of what this does, you know, we're spending a lot to shore up all of our mains and interceptors that we just talked about. Part of what we also have to do is make sure that we don't have manholes leaking, that we're looking for some of the smaller leaks that may not be part of the interceptor work. When they start doing this smoke testing, Director Holliday's probably going to get some calls, and possibly Director Beard, and maybe Director Trustee. When they start smoke testing, we'll have calls, and we'll do a lot of PR before they start. People will call us and say, hey, my house is filling up with smoke. They'll call and say smoke's coming out of their front yard. You know, all of those are areas, if there's smoke coming out, it's areas that they've got a leak. And we'll see that in our streets as well. And I've not seen a smoke test by any of these companies that we've done in the past that we haven't found leaks. There are going to be leaks, smaller ones that we'll be able to pinpoint. Then we'll have a contract at a later date to come in and shore those up. Typically, it's in our manholes. We had a 23% reduction in I&I, or infiltration into the system, during the last SSES, where we went out and did the work on the manholes themselves and sealed them off properly. And we were able to show, it's been over 10 years, I think, we were able to show about a 23% reduction in I&I getting into our system.
Would you say then that this is a great way to enhance infrastructure moving forward for these projects? Like if we didn't do it and we continue on this road to complete these projects and they're all done and they start working, what could happen as a result of not spotting these leaks?
We'll have a lot of stormwater continuing to get into our system, and so we'll be treating a lot of stormwater at the plant, or we have a potential for one of the manholes to overflow somewhere within that line.
Thank you.
And on the smoke testing, I've already talked to RJN. We'll put door hangers out on people's, so they understand that, you know, if you see smoke coming out of your front yard.
You know, one of the cool things though, when they see it, they'll run a camera down there, so this pinpoints where we need to be working after we come out of this exercise. So we've got a pretty good idea of exactly where we need to spend the efforts and the money to fix them, and hopefully we'll see a big reduction again as we do this basin.
Speaking of this, if passed, when do we expect this to happen? Do we have any timeline?
I think
smoke test.
Their contract starts July 1st, but you won't see smoke testing at that time. But
they'll start mobilizing.
They'll start mobilizing and coming in
this year.
Oh yeah. They have 365 days to get the work done, a year.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Oh, I might point out, just as a side note, that Monty sent me an email that Todd, tell them that out of the 750,000 feet, we are inspecting 350,000 feet. So almost half.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R-25-130, a resolution approving the purchase of a 100-foot aerial tower platform from the Pierce Manufacturing Incorporated pursuant to the Cooperative Purchasing Program through Sourcewell. This is one of our fire apparatus, and our Chief Davis is here to discuss. Chief?
So the Hot Springs Fire Department wishes to replace its current 100-foot aerial platform. It's also known as Truck 10. It was manufactured in 2001 by Ferrer Fire Apparatus. We were proposed to replace this truck with a Pierce 100-foot TAC-4 T3 rear steer aerial tower platform. The proposed apparatus is superior to our current Truck 10 in several ways. Because the turntable is mounted in the middle of the chassis, it will have a lower center of gravity. Because the rear wheels turn in a manner similar to our newly purchased tiller truck, Truck 5, it will be considerably more maneuverable. And 2 people can set this truck up and operate the new proposed Pierce aerial tower. 3 people are needed to operate our current Truck 10. The proposed aerial tower platform will have a 510 horsepower diesel engine and a custom Pierce chassis designed specifically to host an aerial device. To facilitate this purchase in the shortest time frame possible, Pierce Manufacturing has what's referred to as a stock list production program that allows buyers to purchase fire apparatus manufactured for direct sale to their dealers. These units are ready for delivery in about 6 to 8 months from published date, and compared to the 40 months wait time that we are currently facing. This apparatus will meet or exceed the set of specifications that the Fire Apparatus Committee has assembled. Stock does not mean base in any way, shape, or form. The stock list apparatus is usually based on the most popular options specified over the past year. Now, we had specified an Enforcer chassis. That was the lower level aerial chassis. This could actually be an Impel or a Velocity. So we could actually, by doing this, we could actually get a better chassis, a better piece of equipment. It will at a minimum meet the specifications the guys have wrote for it. Okay, as previously stated, we'll use Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program for the purchase. The stock list is published at the first of every month. That would mean that if you approve it on next Tuesday night, we could actually get in on the July stock list if they have something on there that actually meets our specifications. These trucks tend to go very fast. It's first come, first served. So we would need a signed proposal with an approved budget not to exceed $2.3 million for the truck and equipment. The cost of the apparatus will not exceed $2.3 million. The Board of Directors allocated this for purchase in the 2025 capital budget.
Any questions for the chief? Director Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. In our packet, will you include what is the old one's plans?
Yes, ma'am.
What you're replacing, what the plans for it are, and also if there's any book value left on that.
Yes, ma'am, we can do that. We'll have to add that to it, but that won't be a problem to do. Included in the packet right now is a set of specifications and the schematic drawing for a truck of this type. But I will get together the market value for the truck, and also we'll also put together a maintenance schedule for it and let you know its condition. I'll get Greg to do that.
I think it's fully appreciated.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? If not, thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Last item for the evening is consider ordinance O25-28, an ordinance awarding an exclusive franchise agreement to LifeNet, Inc. for the provision of medical emergency and non-emergency services and for other purposes. Again, Chief Davis and Brett with LifeNet's here. If you have any questions, he's here as well. Chief.
All right. On November 19th of 2024, the City of Hot Springs issued a request for proposals for ambulance services. 4 contractors responded to the city's request: Pafford Medical Services, Survival Flight EMS, Southern Paramedic Services, and LifeNet, Inc. The proposals were reviewed and rated and ranked by a selection committee. After completing the process of vendor evaluation, the committee members scored each of the respondents in 5 categories: qualifications and experience, proposed method of service, capability and availability, cost, and if the respondent was a disadvantaged women or minority-owned business. After the scores were compiled, the prospective vendors were ranked in the following order: Survival Flight EMS was 1, LifeNet was 2, Pafford Medical Services was 3, and Southern Paramedic Service was 4. On April 1st, 2025, the Board of Directors considered Ordinance 02520, an ordinance awarding an exclusive franchise agreement to Survival Flight EMS LLC for the provision of medical and non-emergency medical services and for other purposes. The ordinance did not receive enough votes to pass. Therefore, staff began negotiations with the next highest rated vendor, LifeNet, Inc. LifeNet, Inc. has been a community stakeholder in Hot Springs for 20 years, operating both ground and air medical ambulance services. LifeNet and the city have reached an operational agreement that would grant the ambulance franchise to LifeNet for an additional 5-year term. The EMS franchise holder is self-sustaining and receives no city funding. Therefore, there is no adverse financial impact to the city of Hot Springs by awarding the franchise agreement to LifeNet, Inc.
Any questions of the chief on this final item? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Chief, was this franchise agreement, is it worded in as 4-year agreement or 5?
It's a 5-year agreement.
5? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought
It'll
I'd
expire in
seen somewhere
2030.
where it was 4, but it is 5, right?
Yes, sir. We have included in your packet the agreement.
Okay.
And it spells out all of the contractual obligations of the city of Hot Springs and also of the franchise holder. And it expires on March 31st of 2030.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, that concludes items for your next Tuesday night's meeting.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you all. We do have a work session immediately following, but we'll take a